Hello BookTube, my name is Darcy, I'm 21 and I'm from Melbourne, and this is my February wrap-up, all the books that I read in the month of February 2016. The first book I read this month was Dream by George R.R. Martin, and I actually made a book recommendations video for this, so if you want to know more of my thoughts you can look at that, but pretty much I thoroughly enjoyed it. I found the writing wonderful, the characters wonderful, the storyline wonderful. In short, it was one of those books that reminded me how much I enjoy reading. So I highly recommend this. I actually had never read a Martin book before and I am very pleased with what I read. Next, I read Flywheel by Erin Gough. Gough, bad with names. This is a young adult contemporary novel written by an Australian, and the protagonist is a 17-year-old lesbian gal. Storyline is quite simple, so even though it was a fun read, there wasn't much complexity to it or massive character development, but I still really enjoyed it. Then I read The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. I'm sorry, names. Me pronouncing last names isn't a thing that happens ever. This is the second book in the Raven Cycle book series, and despite new magical elements being added to the story kind of out of completely nowhere, I still rated this book 5 stars because all of the characters I just enjoy so much. This particular book actually centers around my favorite character, Ronan, so I was very pleased with that. And one thing that's so far remained consistent about this book series is the writing style and how beautifully, unexpectedly poetic it can be. The next book I read was A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemmingway, and I really wanted to enjoy this. I did, and I'm not gonna lie, part of the reason I did want to enjoy it so much was because I love Ernest Hemingway in Midnight in Paris, the Woody Allen film. Stupid reason to want to love a book, I understand that. I just found this slow. I didn't empathize with any of the characters. I feel like Ernest Hemingway just sees the world in a very different way to myself. And maybe because of that I couldn't connect with this book. Although I did really enjoy the dialogue in this book, I just didn't particularly enjoy the long drawn out paragraphs that talked about seemingly nothing. Look, I could be just an ignorant 21-year-old who doesn't know what the hell she's talking about with classics, but I just, no. But then it was okay because I read this glorious book, Jasper Jones by Craig Silvey, which again is an Australian book, and it was just fantastic. Everything about it was incredible. It's set in a rural country town in 1965. I think it's a bit outside of Perth, could be wrong. But it follows Charlie, who's the protagonist, and one night Jasper Jones, who's like the town rebel, comes to his window. And that's all I want to say because it's so good and I don't want to spoil anything. And this is one of those books where I would genuinely recommend it to everybody. I think everyone can get something out of this book. All the characters were so funny and made me laugh out loud many, many times. And luckily enough for me, I have an MTC membership, which is the Melbourne Theatre Company, and they are putting on the play version of Jasper Jones in August, I believe. And my mother and I already have tickets, so very much looking forward to that. So these are all the books that I read in the month of February. I did want to read a bit more than this, but I just didn't get to it. Out of all of these, I would highly recommend Jasper Jones and Dream. They were the best, which you should definitely add to your TBR. Feel free to let me know your favorite book that you read this month so I can add it to my TBR, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.